What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Thank you for coming by. I'm sorry I'm late starting this live stream. If you're a replay viewer, I'm going to have some timestamps for you. Feel free to just browse around, make yourself at home at Crypto Capital Venture. If you're in the chats, can you just hit the number 1? Let me know that you can see me, you can hear me. This thing kept freezing every time I was trying to go live. I've been messing with this. So hit the 1 just so I can glance at that and see that. And we're going to jump in. This is an ADA chart. All my charts got reset because I had to restart my computer. But I want to go over here to the Bitcoin chart. That's a monthly. I want to open up another Bitcoin chart on, let's see, the daily. What a day. What a day. Bitcoin, this is crazy. Bitcoin right now, looking at this chart, sitting at 30,500. We just wicked below 30,000. Bitcoin just went down to the $29,000 range. It's epic to see it. It's not fun. It's not fun to see it, but it's pretty epic to see that happen. I want to start here, rewind a little bit. This is it. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the party. We joined this party together. We're buckled up on this ride together. And I tweeted earlier, we all knew what we signed up for when we bought our ticket to this roller coaster. It wasn't long ago we were all celebrating all-time highs as crypto was overbought. The same thing is happening now to the downside. Sit tight. And can I just say that? Sit tight, everybody. We're going to look at the charts. Absolutely. We're going to look at the charts. But I mean, what are we thinking when we're chilling, we're doing these live streams and they're popping like crazy, right? Everybody's going crazy. We're hitting all-time highs and we're in overbought territory. We're enjoying that. We know in the back of our minds, the inverse of that situation is only a matter of time away. And we're there. Crypto's parabolic moves to the downside. They're happening now, right? It's opposite of the all-time highs, and we're falling. And we have to endure these times if we want to enjoy the all-time highs. And we just have to remember that. We have to remember that. This is a roller coaster ride. This is not the first time, if you start even zooming out on the 6-hour chart, that Bitcoin's just falling like crazy. Look, here we are back in May 2021, Bitcoin falling like crazy. You can just see it. It just happens all of the time. So let's put things into perspective as we start digging into the technical analysis aspect and we start talking about what is on the screen, which is kind of that roadmap that we have for crypto. It's the roadmap to success in crypto. So hit that like button on the way in. It means a lot to me as we just cruise through these volatile times together. Plan C, my boy Plan C over there, just killing it with the data all the time. He tweeted a great point in terms of just charting data, in terms of Bitcoin, the $30,000 area. The highest amount of Bitcoin liquidity is currently at 30,000 across all exchanges. And this was earlier today. This was 3:15. So it was very interesting as I started this live stream to see this play out. To be clear, I'm not saying 30K will hold or the liquidity will not get pulled. That's just where the highest amount of bids are currently. I feel like 30K is like this cliff area. It's partly why I put it in the title of this video. The combined liquidity from 5 exchanges, this was a couple hours ago he tweeted this. When will the $30,000 buy wall be tested? And it was just tested. I mean, you zoom out on the 6-hour chart on Bitcoin and there was some stuff going on here. And now Bitcoin has bounced off of that 29,000, the upper $29,000 range. Right now, $30,700. Let's see if there's any type of short-term rally. Let's see how this even 6-hour candle closes. We're only 5 hours, 12 minutes, or 5 hours, 12 minutes left of the 6-hour candle. But let's talk about what's happening. We can't ignore Wall Street and traditional markets are really fueling this fire. And this is a long article, and all the articles are the same. They're all bearish. They're all doom and gloom. They're all talking about what is negatively happening, and it's true, it is happening. It's a perfect storm for investors with nowhere to hide and this is it, Fed hikes, inflation, geopolitical issues, and worries about a recession are abound. Tech stocks are getting crushed on this flight to safety, and it's a bear market mentality, with the pain threshold being tested for tech investors. Market psychology is driven by greed and fear. I meant to bring up the fear index. I believe it's at 11. It's insane. The greed and fear index is at 11. The volatility in markets today is driven by uncertainty in the future rate of inflation and the actions the Fed will take in its attempt to mute upward price increases. In 2 weeks from now, there could be a positive mentality. Something positive could be happening. So we have to take everything we read with a grain of salt, but we digress from that and we look at the charts. We look at what we have, which is available to us, and that is the consistency of the chart. So I kind of want to start with the S&P 500 chart. Let me move that. I don't know why that's sitting there like that, but here's S&P 500 putting things into perspective for us. If we take a price range from that all-time high there to where it is right now, we've seen a dip of 17% since January, right? It's been a rough 2022 for traditional markets as well as for crypto. What I want to just talk about very simply, I'm not going to just go dig crazy into this, but I just want to talk about the possibility of a continued dip for S&P 500, and I want to get rid of this. From where it is right now, we have this 50-month moving average on this chart, and maybe it'll be better to go look at a weekly chart. Let's go look at a weekly chart. We have the 200-week moving average is the area that I just want to just take a quick glance at for context to what we're talking about on Bitcoin. 13% continued to the downside potentially for traditional markets. This is an area on these charts that we've seen the retracement to in volatile times, and it's something that we at the very least should anticipate. And here Bitcoin is kind of sitting at the cliff. Now, the cliff not only being that $30,000 area, right, but also the cliff being probably the most important thing on these charts. And let me change this 6-hour to a weekly. Dude, all my charts got messed up. I was ready to go with this live stream. They all got reset. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have any notes going on, everybody. This is what I'm looking at. This is December 9th, 2021. I'm not going to show a clip. I mean, I'll show like a 2-second dollar range. And in that whole area is there it is. Accumulation zone. Accumulation zone. Accumulation zone. It's a macro Fibonacci. We're talking about this in December 2021. We track it. We remind ourselves of it all of the time if you watch my Bitcoin videos, because it's just sitting there, staring us in the face at any given time. And what it is Fibonacci, last bear market low to this bull market high, and we have this retracement area. Bitcoin has just done it over and over again in the past. We can take the 2015 to 2017 swing high. Bitcoin retraced into that area and slightly below the 786. And it did it in a cycle before that. So this is an area we've just anticipated on the charts. And as we talk about this cliff, $30,000 cliff, and we watch even in the next hours in the day, will that hold? Bitcoin's just about to just kind of fall over. It's so close to just plopping over into that pool, that green pool. And that's a Fibonacci high or low on the macro with the 200-week moving average confluent with the entire range. And so what we're looking at is the 618, right around 28,447, 786, 17,000. What's crazy to me is I do this video and I say those numbers now. It's hard to talk about this area. Say in this Bitcoin video, Bitcoin was trading at $48,000 when I was doing this video in December, and I'm just talking about that area, and people just don't pay attention. They don't want to hear that area. They haven't. Every time I talk about it, they think it's impossible. They think it can't happen. They think the 200-week moving average down there can't happen. The $20,000 range, it can't happen. But now, here we are, months later, right? Almost half a year later, and slowly Bitcoin has given us this bearish confirmation, the 20-week below the 50-week, and we're just testing above the 618. Now these numbers are realistic. Now this range is realistic. And it's in an environment now where Bitcoin on the momentum oscillators is approaching historically low areas on this RSI, for instance, a slower moving momentum oscillator, and the accumulation opportunity is upon us. And it is in the midst of fear, and there is talk of, recession and how long is this going to last and all of this. And when it comes to those things, no YouTuber can tell you what to do with that. No YouTuber can tell you what financial decisions to make. we can just, and this is what I do. I just track the data because I'm in the same boat as you, trying to figure out, trying to navigate. I just know that this range, for me, I think if Bitcoin falls off the cliff into the range, it's already retraced a lot, right? But if it falls off into this range, this macro Fibonacci, Bitcoin will be doing what it has historically done in the previous cycles, so symmetrically, so nicely. It's almost too convenient that it would happen. And it's just like an accumulation area, not just for Bitcoin, right? When I say accumulation area in reference to this, it's for crypto markets, right? If you're into altcoins, I think altcoins are going to present themselves to have amazing opportunities, especially blue chip ones that are a little bit less risk. But the range is here, and it's amazing to see it now after all these months talking about this range. It is the 786, like 6% away from where Bitcoin is trading right now. Even that, the 618 is 6%. The 786 down here, I do not think Bitcoin will get there. It's 42% away. But this 200-week moving average, 27% away. Yes, absolutely, Bitcoin can fall into that area. Maybe it sideways trickles into it and it gets pulled up a little bit into maybe the $25,000 area. But absolutely, if we see traditional markets not getting a rally, not bouncing, Bitcoin would absolutely likely follow. So a 13% dip for traditional markets in the S&P 500, Bitcoin, very simply, 27% dip to the lower 20,000s. So be prepared for it. Obviously, I'm not calling that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm doing the same thing I did back here in January of 2021, was just saying, hey, listen, it's there on the screen. It's historically consistent data. Be ready for it and plan around the possibility that it can happen. So that's Bitcoin. I'm not even going to dig in really on the zoomed in charts. I'm not really going to zoom in on the, any patterns that are trying to form on the zoomed in charts. I'm just very much looking at this. If we get some like really nice bounce on the weekly, right? Because it's a pretty new week right now. If we've got 6 days left of the week, right? I forgot what day it was. So we've got 6 days left of the week. So let's see how Bitcoin interacts with 30,000. Let's see how Bitcoin reacts and interacts to the 618 area right around 28,000. 30,000 is kind of a very important area, obviously, even for just previous swing lows that Bitcoin has tested and seen. But I can't say enough how important the 618 area is too. We don't talk about it enough in confluence with the $30,000 area. Look at Bitcoin wicking at the 618, right? And actually, I should probably move that down for context to that wick. So Bitcoin wicking just above the 618 after this high, but this new all-time high brings Bitcoin just above the 618 once again. So confluent with that $38,000 area, it's going to be fun to track. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin, everybody. Bro, I love being bearish. 10K BTC so I can buy. Bitcoin's not going. I can't tell you for sure, but Bitcoin I do not think is going to $10,000. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I mean, if I had to guess, I don't think Bitcoin will close a weekly candle below this area. And I say I can't give a number because right now the 200-week moving average is $22,000. If Bitcoin gets a rally, and we're in June rallying, and then it's still, they're struggling in the markets. There's some bad news. It falls again to the 20,000. It could be August, September, and this 200-week moving average is being pulled up, and then we're 24,000. If Bitcoin ever tests this red line, the 200-week moving average, I don't think Bitcoin is going to close a weekly candle below that. So wherever that red line is, wherever that 200-week moving average is, when Bitcoin retraces down to it, whether it's in an insane, I can't even imagine if it's like this week or next week and we're getting a huge red candle. I don't think that will happen. But if it did, or if it's 2 months from now, whenever, I don't think Bitcoin will close. And that means that Bitcoin could very well trade below within a week of that 200-week moving average. But there will be, in my opinion, just too much buying pressure if that were to happen. So I don't think Bitcoin's going to $10,000. Those are just my thoughts. Quick pause for me to beg everybody to hit the like button for this live stream for YouTube algorithms to throw me a bone. 16K, very possible. So 16K is interesting area, right? Because we have the 786 at around 17,000, and it is very possible. If we look at these previous macro Fibonacci's, and this is probably the most compelling piece of data in terms of these Fibonacci's this cycle. So last cycle, 2015 to 2017, here's this Fibonacci that really helped us identify the bear market low. Bitcoin fell below the 786 line of that Fibonacci. But notice where the 200-week moving average was. It was below, right? So Bitcoin hit that 200-week moving average. These are two really important data points, the 786 of this macro Fib and the 200-week moving average. They're really important. So if you notice, though, this time around, Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, the 200-week moving average is not below the 786 line. And when I say 786 line, we're talking about this line right here of the Fibonacci. The 200-week moving average is actually in between the 786 and the 618 line. So a little higher than previous cycle. And so I think it's a more consistent data point, that 200-week moving average. And that's why I don't think Bitcoin will actually close at the very least. It could wick to $16,000. And so it is possible. I agree with you, but I don't think it will close below that area. And so those are just some of my thoughts. Wick to 12K possible. Joey says, this is the bottom. You know what? Like, think about this, everybody. Bitcoin is at $30,000. Bitcoin's at $30,000. It feels like yesterday I was doing videos here, $3,000. Bitcoin is at $30,000 after a 50+% dip. Can we soak that in? Let our brains soak that in. That's a huge dip for Bitcoin. It's a huge dip for Bitcoin, and it's still at $30,000. I think it's crazy to think that, Bitcoin's going to continue falling that low and stay there, especially when we look at the momentum oscillators on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just so oversold in terms of historical momentum on this RSI, and it's just a matter of time. I really think the Band-Aid, and I mentioned this in a Bitcoin video earlier, the Band-Aid has been pulled off, and we're seeking and almost close to finding that bottom range. It could be months. When I say almost and we're close, it still could be months, but it's better than over a year of consolidation, right? That's the Band-Aid that has been pulled off. Everybody debating about market cycles and changing their minds on that. So those are my thoughts. Let's pivot to Cardano. I'm talking too much. So here's Cardano on the monthly, and if we are looking at the monthly, let me actually change this other chart to the weekly because I had that up as well. I'm not going to ignore the fact, everybody, if you're a Cardano holder, Cardano is in this 63-day window, Vassal hard fork, end of June. I'm not going to ignore that, even though the markets are in this downtrend. Absolutely not going to ignore that. But what I want to talk about is a couple things. There's going to be a chart on. Yep, that got deleted too. That's awesome. There's going to be a chart on the daily. I'm going to have to kind of rechart for you, but I do want to talk about it. It's important. But we can start here. Let's just talk about this for a second. We revisited Bitcoin past. Let's revisit a quick clip from Cardano past. We have a 50-cent target in play. If markets somehow get a turnaround, 50-cent target back in January 8th, 2022. I'm not patting myself on the back, everybody, but I have to sometimes just kind of defend myself and prove myself, because I get a lot of comments that say, Dan, you're so irresponsible. You're too irresponsible. You've been misleading people, so bullish on Cardano. And I can't stress enough, everybody, there's always downside and upside, right? There's always two options. None of us know. We have targets all of the time. And so that's why I consistently And look, since January 2022, have talked about the 50% area on Bitcoin or on Cardano. Let's hope Bitcoin doesn't go to 50 cents. But here's Cardano on the daily chart. The 50 cent is, it comes out of this pattern. And if many of you have watched my Cardano content, you already know about the rising broadening wedge, 80 cent target that we hit. We bounced off of, saw some brief support, and obviously we fell below. And I get that outside markets and things that have nothing to do with Cardano are affecting Cardano's price. I get that. But I say this all the time. Oftentimes, it's other things that are triggers to whatever chart you're looking at. They trigger these movements, and they trigger, in this case, ADA to hit certain targets and to give us certain confirmations. And so the one thing that doesn't change, I can tell you, is the roadmap that we have on this screen. And the roadmap is very clear in terms of these targets being hit. So right now, we do still have the 50 cent target in play. It's down here. It's very close. If we're looking at Cardano, I mean, look how, when I did that video in January, Cardano was $1.14. Now we're here in May, and it took all this time to get to 62 cents. If we look at how far Cardano is from that area, Cardano is around 20% move from the 50 cent target. Now, what I want to talk about is kind of taking that data and zooming out here. And what I was doing earlier, because we have a lot going on, obviously, right? We have the rising broadening wedge, just to give you some context of all these lines. And then we have this triangle that I charted as well. That's giving us these targets. But we also have, if you look at this upper trend line, this white trend line, that's part of that triangle. And if we just kind of like get a lower trend line somewhere in place, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's on the daily, so we can kind of run through these wicks that we've seen support on Cardano, even just a confluent area right there at the 80 cent range. We have this lower trend line, and we have this upper trend line, right? And you can just see this is a falling, broadening wedge that Cardano is in. And it's continuing to fall. And what it is lower lows and lower highs. And so we take this data now, this lower trend line, and we look, wow, this 50 cent range, that's an interesting area to watch for with Cardano. And we hope that Cardano doesn't break that lower trend line. We really do. This could be the environment, and maybe it's not right away. Maybe it's not in May. Maybe it's in an environment where traditional markets are falling. Bitcoin's falling after a brief rally. Cardano's falling, and it's June. Maybe it's July, and Cardano is having the most epic capitulation, the most epic accumulation opportunity, I would say, in all of crypto if Cardano makes it that low. But that could happen. And so it's an interesting data point now to track confluent with that 50 cent target that we've been talking about all year long. Now, descending, broadening wedges, we definitely go to our friend over there at thepatternsight.com, Bolkowski. And just note, he says the breakout direction is upward 72% of the time. So it has kind of a bullish, it's obviously painful. There's obviously downside, but it has bullish data for potential breakouts and continuation of this very long-term trend that we see on Cardano. So this is what we're looking for on Cardano. It's a long-term chart. And so, yeah, Bitcoin's down. Yes, Cardano's down. We take the price range, though, and look at this. Cardano's down. I mean, let's just call it 80%. Cardano's down 80%. And I'm sitting here with a smile on my face. I'm sitting here because it's been tracking this long-term growth of Cardano. And even after 80% dip, Cardano's sitting at 63 cents. And this is, and I'm not going to talk about it in this video. I obviously just did a video, I think yesterday, talking about Cardano, you know, I forget it, on course to greatness or something. Everything going on with the Cardano roadmap and the fundamentals of Cardano, it is so undervalued. What is the market cap on Cardano right now is it's $20 billion. It's $20 billion market cap for Cardano. 20 billion market cap, everybody. The reason that blows my mind is not only is Ethereum 275 billion, so over 10x of what Cardano is right now, but at one point Ethereum was like 500 billion, right? I'm pretty sure it was $500 billion market cap. Do you know the upside potential for Cardano right now? As it just is, it's getting hammered. It's getting oversold like crazy. And there could still be more downside, but this is just, I think, a certain way of thinking. And I think there's a lot of you out there that see it the way I do. And hit that like button if you do see this. But like Cardano has already been delivering in its roadmap. And we're talking about everything. Not even, let's take a brief, let's go back into history for a second. This is November 6, 2018. Cardano Byron phase is reaching its conclusion. Cardano Byron phase, November 6th, 2018. Let's go to the daily chart real quick. Where is that? November 6th, 2018. Man. Where's November 6th, 2018? Everybody, I can't even read a chart anymore. I'm so tired. November. All right, it's like right here. Cardano's like 7 cents. The Byron era reaching its conclusion. Byron is responsible for creating the baseline for Cardano and enabling users to not only trade, but also transfer ADA. In a nutshell, the project is moving towards Shelley from Byron, which was the bootstrap phase. As far as the Shelley phase, it involves decentralized network, and as the work is in progress, it would help in 3 factors. So they're talking about Cardano's getting ready to go into the Shelley phase, which is staking. And I think I even got a little ticker going at the bottom of this video. Many of you stake with CCV, a CCV stake pool. We're literally, as a community, taking part in the consensus mechanism that is Cardano Protocol. And look how quick it happened. 2018 is 4 years ago, right? But 7 cents. And now, if you zoom out on this chart, all the way from that baseline era, the foundation of Cardano, we've seen Shelley come into play with a staking mechanism. We've seen the multi-asset ledger, right? NFTs really started kind of taking off, and the innovation and the ideas that were just coming on the blockchain started taking off. Smart contracts with the Alonzo hard fork. And now we're in scalability phase with the Vassal hard fork coming up in the end of June. And Cardano dipped 80% and is still at 62%. And it is just, if we're trying to analyze, well, hey, I'm not saying there's a $15 ADA in the next month. This is just for just context that in the future sometime, it's so possible Ethereum hit this area. For Cardano to hit that area, we're looking at 1,800% just to hit that area. For it to hit $1 trillion, we're looking at 4,800% just about. This is long-term stuff, everybody, because that's what I am. I'm a long-term investor. But that's what I see on this chart. It's all I see. And I've been accumulating Cardano. I've been buying. I've been putting fiat into crypto. And I've been doing it my own way. I was telling my wife earlier, like, this happening right here, this dip happening, I'm just like, man, I shouldn't have gone as heavy as I've been going. I've been going heavy, everybody. My buy fingers are just like, my buy fingers probably just getting a little bit too much work. So it is what it is. How's everybody doing out there anyway? A lot of Cody people out there. Millionaires are being made now. I agree. It's the fear. It's so many people are just like, I'm seeing in comments, people are seemingly giving up, seemingly walking away, seemingly mad at me just because like I'm bullish on crypto in general. It's just how I am. I always have been. If you go to my videos when Bitcoin was all the way back here, 2018 bottom, all in that area, seeing capitulation from 6,000 to the bear market low, I was positive then because I saw on these charts what I see now, and it's just opportunity. And look at that, Bitcoin back above 31,000, a nice little weekly wick in formation. Would be nice to see that continuation. Listen, 5 days, 23 hours left of this week. So let's see what happens. I don't think Bitcoin's definitely not out of the woods yet, obviously. Let's go real quick and look at the 6 hour just to see. 6 hour candle, green right now, obviously. And then what's Cardano at? I'm charting. So Cardano's still at 62 cents. So yeah, downside target at 50 cents, still obviously in play. It's a 20% move for Cardano to see that area. But all in all, everybody, if we just look back at a clip from, what's this, Bitcoin December, talking about this area being revisited from December, we looked back and we saw a clip with a 50-cent target from January. And that's why I sit here and it's just like, I don't enjoy it. I really don't enjoy the dip. I don't enjoy what's happening, but it's literally nothing new. It's nothing unexpected. Like, and it's nothing that I predicted, because I didn't predict it would happen. I think time and time again, I said, I don't want it to happen, but it's there. It's possible. And so here we are. And all we can do is just make the best of it. In the hardest of times, it's all we can do. You step outside of the charts and you look at just, if you're a business owner, or if you're in a relationship, or any aspect of life, like when things are really tough and there's challenge, you just have a choice. It's like you make the best of it, you work hard, you persevere, or you throw in the towel and you walk away. And you really, if you make that choice to walk away, you kind of walk away losing. And losing oftentimes is a choice. And I'm not trying to like give you any type of hopium. We can go lower. Things could get worse. I mean, things can really get worse, because now we're in this environment where if traditional markets are going to really see downside, like, and this is going to continue, we haven't really operated in crypto in that environment. Things get really bad. So be prepared mentally for that. And be prepared financially for that. And don't listen to YouTubers for financial advice. I say that all the time. Like I'm just here. I picture you all are just sitting here at this table with me, and we're talking, and I'm showing you the data that I'm coming across, and I'm just saying, hey, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, just like you guys, but this is what I'm using as my roadmap. And so that's the best we can do. Best ADA staking pool, CCV rewards are disappointing. CCV rewards are not out of the ordinary from the protocol itself. It's a luck protocol. It has nothing to do with me or the pool. The pool has, as I've been running it, has been 100% secure, operating beautifully. Stop hating on the CCV pools. Dylan says, my buying fingers are heavy too. I'm telling you. I went a little too heavy in prior weeks with buying and putting fiat in. I still have fiat to put in, but it's just like, man. We're almost at 500 likes, everybody. Hit that like button. We got 1,000 people here. Dollar cost average, that's it. I mean, I've been in this space for years and years, and if there's one most consistent, most simple, short and sweet thing, it's that. Dollar cost average. Like, just dollar cost average. Dogecoin may not survive the bear market at all. I tend to think Dogecoin will survive the bear market because Dogecoin has a lot of powerful people behind it. It has turned into a global social coin. I'm not like a fan, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I really don't. Is it time yet to run into the burning building? It feels like we're in the burning building these last couple days, especially. Cardano falling away from 80 cents. Bitcoin, look at Bitcoin getting close to that macro Fibonacci that we've been talking about all year long. It feels like we've been running into that burning fire. I expect 50% of the altcoins may not make it through. There's going to be a ton of altcoins that don't, especially the empty projects that aren't building anything sound, anything relevant. There's a lot of them. I mean, how many? There's so many cryptos, it's insane. Dion, love what you do for the community. I love you all, man. I'm just here with you. Like, you guys help me to step away from my day, create some content, have some fun, think out loud. So thank you. Man, there's a lot of you out there. How's everybody doing, though? You guys... I have to go look at a Bitcoin chart. It's so compelling to zoom in on the 6 hour, everybody. Like, look at this. This is what I do. Like, so let me go over here. This is the weekly. We know that we understand the downside on traditional markets, but so look at Bitcoin longs. Look at that. Look at Bitcoin longs. This chart is going back to August 2017. It's hitting all-time highs here on this chart. Bitfinex. But I want to go here. Swing low to swing high. The Fibonacci, this area. If we zoom in on the area on the 6 hour, Bitcoin's just treading. So that's the cliff it just looks like Bitcoin's about to fall off of. And if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I was looking at Plan C's tweet. The highest amount of Bitcoin liquidity is currently at 30,000 across all exchanges. This was earlier today, and then he posted kind of a chart at 6:48 p.m. Eastern, so almost a few hours ago. I don't know what this data looks like now, but the combined liquidity from five exchanges, when will the 30,000 buy wall be tested? And it was tested. So I'm so curious what that data would look like right now, because look at this, Bitcoin hovering. I think it's 5% above this Fibonacci. No, 7 to 8% above the 618 of this macro Fibonacci, and just in this vicinity where Bitcoin has bottomed before. Look at this. We've been here before multiple times. So July, June, May. Look at this. January. That's insane. And Bitcoin is here right now. This is going to be really interesting, even just tonight, actually, to see if Bitcoin actually starts getting some momentum to the upside, if there's buy support, or if Bitcoin actually falls into our macro Fibonacci. It will be insane if Bitcoin falls into this macro Fibonacci. I will liken it to last cycle when Bitcoin did it. 2015 swing low to 2017 swing high. It's likened to when Bitcoin traded in that same Fibonacci. Man. So this is what I'm watching tonight, everybody, on these charts. Time will tell if what happens, but the volatile times are here. We are getting through it. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be just fine. And I say that with larger context. Close a computer. Go outside. Go spend time with your family. Go enjoy life. Look, there's my daughter up there making all types of noise. That's what I'm saying. Look at that. You see that? But that's the thing. This has been on my mind a lot. So I'll close with this, everybody. I talk about crypto all day. I'm tweeting about crypto. I'm doing YouTube videos. I'm researching. I'm on charts all day. And I've been getting this nagging feeling for a while now. It's just like, take a deep breath. Like, come on. This is ridiculous. Life is beautiful. So I say that to you. There's a beautiful world around us that God has created, and we should enjoy it. And it's not all about crypto. Let's take all of these things into context. Let's try and make wise decisions the best we can in these crazy volatile times. We're hovering above that Fibonacci on that macro chart on Bitcoin. Cardano 20% away from the 50 cent area we've been tracking all year. Let's just stick to the game plan. And then outside of that, enjoy life. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you all enjoy life outside of the charts.